Okay.
They're running hard and fast lineup. This is totally the opposite of Polaris' normal strategies that we've seen. I like it a lot. Like this is not a lineup that I think is unique. It's not unique at all. We've seen it 1,000 times. IO Storm, then with a setup support like Bane, Lion, Hoodwink. These three supports really synergize well with them. Razor, like they're currently just able to run at you with unlimited resources thanks to like IO. Now they just need a initiator. Just an offlaner with a stun would be nice. Sand King's still in the pool, probably can get banned out. I'm not sure.
I don't get why they pick Razor here though. Like, what's the value? They don't see any melee core. Last game it was picked like into Lesh, where you're like, okay, BKB Razor just destroys Lesh. It's not Death Prof has Exorcism. Like, I just feel like Razor does nothing, and now there's a Barra that comes out. Like, why did they pick Razor though?
I'm not against it, only because I think last patch we saw the strength of Razor in like first phase. So I think Razor's like fine, even if you don't like necessarily see your opponent, because it also like block picks a lot of things, right? You can't just pick a carry that wants to do physical damage or whatever now, because now Razor is like, yeah, there's the threat of the Razor. It's like a problem. And like when you pair it with an IO, he's not like, you know, restricted entirely. Like he's able to do more with IO, I think. And when you're playing with like an IO and a Hoodwink and a Storm who can connect from like far away, your Razor pick is something like pretty good. You have lockdown in Hoodwink to like kill people. He can. I feel like this Razor is enabled this game to run through fights and do what he wants.
Interested to see if it plans out that way. But this Bat Rider pick coming out here, gods.
It's a hero that can cause problem.
Yeah.
For the lane and just the game as a whole. Bat Rider versus Storm mid, I imagine it's going to be the matchup, and there's always this, you know, scary kill threat that Storm has to deal with pre-level 6. And I think that's something where Moon is really good at mechanically playing his lanes really well. We saw it a bit last game on the Lina, so I think that's going to be problematic. And then later on, you know, I think Bat Rider is just this hero that they don't really have this, like, good insta-stun to maybe deal with. It gives them a way to reliably lock down Storm. Doesn't want to typically go Lincolns until maybe, like, 3rd, 4th item, so...
Pick your hero, pick your hero, pick your hero!
That was so close. Ooh. They almost ran out of time. They pick up Doom.
Well, I hate that. That's what I say.
Why?
Because I want them to have a blink stun initiator right now. I want them to have something that helps the IO relocate in. Like, Hoodwink has Bushwhack, but then there's no follow-up look down. Doom is okay when he has Blink and a Hoof Stomp from the creep, but...
Until then,
it's greedy.
He's super greedy, and you're playing into Bat Rider. Like this Bat with travels can just run down this Doom and feed off him.
Like, Doom's their frontliner. Like it just feels like he's gonna get lassoed to start every fight theoretically.
Yeah, like, I don't like that.
I don't know how he can. He's not gonna be able to reliably necessarily get Doom off, and also like who's the Doom target this game? Like Death Prophet, she already has Exorcism going. I guess Bat Rider, if you can get him before he jumps you, but it's just typically gonna go the other way. I feel.
The only way I see this pick as an idea from Polaris is SMG has 0 synergy right now between their heroes. I feel like they need some big carry that kind of ties the whole thing up in a neat little bow and says like, this is going to carry the game for us. Because yeah, they can try and snowball with Death Prophet and Bat Rider, but it's all a bunch of like, you know, it's no PA, right? I'd like to see a hero like PA, but now you have Razor and you have Doom. It basically means that whatever they last pick here, they cannot carry this game. It's just not going to happen. And they don't have any save on SMG. You have a Nightmare save, but that won't save you from Link or Doom.
It's where you just bust out the old boring Wraith King. Not the greatest. I mean, not the greatest versus Razor, but ultimately you have the double life, so you can frontline and let your Bat Rider Death Prophet dish out a bunch of damage. But
yeah, I think they feel really stuck right now on SMG on what hero they're meant to pick.
Nothing feels good, and you never feel like you put your draft in the best spot if you get to this last pick, and there's like no obvious pick that's going to pull everything together or counter your opponents.
Real Chads take Meepo here, I'm telling you.
Oh my goodness.
Actually, goated game.
What other sort of heroes could we potentially be seeing? You said the Wraith King. Do we ever like the Dragon Knight?
I mean, maybe there's like a PL.
PL? Did you say PA?
PL. I mean, I said PA earlier, but like again, I do think she does struggle into these heroes.
Yep.
I mean, they have a lot of like magic bursts. I mean, again, it's like it's your big one carry. It's really hard. I mean, maybe you can try and like juke out by playing an illusion hero, but yeah, game is difficult. That's the illusion hero. Yeah, so like now he doesn't necessarily only fight with his main hero, right? He's gonna cause a lot of problems on the map.
Yeah. And if you've got meta up and you get doomed or whatever, you can still dish out some damage to stop you. It's still a good doom target because you stop the Sunder, but it doesn't negate TP's damage.
All right, I want to hear from Aries and Danog. And Aries, I'm going to let you go first this time. And I want to know if you think this shake-up from Polaris is going to give them the win, or if they were maybe backed into the corner running out of reserve time.
Well, it could be an interesting Doom pick, but the main thing is it's a Nico Doom or Force Doom. And back when he was on his prior roster of Execration, the Doom almost got them to TI. He looks exceptional on this hero. Of course, it got them to a major as well. So if anyone can pull it out, it could be the Nico Doom.
And what about yourself, Danog?
It feels like there's a lot of signature heroes coming out this game. You know, Arfu, Elder Titan, Moon, Death Prophet, mid one Terrorblade, and of course Force playing the Doom. So until that Terrorblade came out, I was really favoring SMG. I know you really wanted that late game carry, and I was in agreement with you, Sheep, but I really felt like the PA was the way to go. I'm not feeling quite as confident about this TB though. I felt like they needed something that either built into a Blink Dagger or had that gap creation where you could actually get away from the static links. So I think I might still go for SMG, but it's going to be close.
Alrighty, I want just the team. Last predictions. Where is this series landing? Just the team.
SMG for me.
Polaris.
Oh, already split, but Danog, make sure you don't get eaten by the Mate dog as we do head into game number 3.
Yes, Danog, please make sure you don't get eaten. I don't want to do this solo for our exceptionally hype last game we have with SMG taking on Polaris. But which way are you going? We already have a 1-1 tie for the panel, but where are you going to put your chips in this game?
I think, let me see what the dog thinks.
Dog doesn't give
He's
a
saying
damn.
SMG. He's saying SMG.
Okay. I too am agreeing that I'm not a huge fan of the Terrorblade pick. Very concerned against the heroes that Polaris have against it. The Doom, the Razor, I think, like she was mentioning, anti-carry, anti-win condition that they are, but it's a Moon Death Prophet. And Moon DP, that's scary, and it's quite a treat. We saw Moon Lena last game, now we see Moon Death Prophet. I believe in CEO, I think. So I'm also going to go SMG as well.
So you think or you do? It has to be one of them. Do you believe or not?
I do believe. I'm quite intrigued on why they actually put the Death Prophet in the mid lane, because Batrider versus Storm, it's Batrider favored. It can be very volatile though. Storm can definitely find a kill just off the like level 3 overwhelming amount of magic damage when like Batrider maybe thinks about diving. And I thought DP and Elder Titan would have been a ridiculously strong side lane.
I mean, Batrider's a pretty strong lane as well, right? You have Flame Break to bounce back the Razor. You can just Firefly over the trees to be able to get away a little bit faster, or over cliffs, rather. But I feel like the big thing for that mid lane is kind of what I was talking about. I like that SMG kept this up into the air until the very end, and they just wanted the best overall lane matchup for themselves. And I feel like this DP is good, right? A, it's a Moon staple. B, Storm Spirit, if you're up against a Batrider, yeah, it's not great, but you just buy a magic wand and then you are relatively sustainable. Whereas the DP, she's going to be using Spirit Siphons onto you, and you have no mobility until you're level 6. So I feel like Moon is going to be able to do a pretty good job of bullying out the Storm Spirit. And look at what we got. One of my favorite Sentry Wards in the entire game, blocking up the small camp for Lelouch. So he's not even going to be able to go back away from the lane and try and catch up in farm in that way.
You are a big fan of always mentioning if the small camp is blocked, and I don't blame you considering how strong they are and how vital they are to just the position 2's game, and if they're able to get that little bit of gold and experience required to maybe take over and get a couple of kills early.
You never know. It might be forced into the sort of situation where someone needs to rotate mid to be able to place that one down for him. Maybe he even goes and tries to take away the Death Prophet's own small camp, but you just see already just being bullied out at the very start. It's just level 1 Spirit Siphon, so he's able to walk on away and immediately come back to the lane, but it still does feel a little bit awkward.
Top lane's looking mighty awkward right now. Alfu's going on quite the trip with his own creeps, and it looks like Mavis does the same thing, but beautifully done from the Ire. Is going to be able to meet his own creeps behind the tower, so this will deny a decent amount of the wave away from SMG.
Like Raging Potato wants to bring it between his tier 1 and tier 2, and then they're going to get... Honestly, I don't know how this lane is going to end up, whether it's going to be pushing back, but
Arfu... the death on Arfu. And Natsumi has a little bit of bonus movement speed. Thanks some Mavis. So just some damage onto Arfu. Only has the Salve at the moment.
But this lane is going to end up pushing into the SMG side. So a lot of that lane manipulation coming through from Arfu is going to benefit them. This double wave eventually going to make it too much for them to handle. And well, Mavis is doing the right thing. He's soaking up a lot of this experience, making sure that you're not just getting a full wave's worth for free. But yeah, still SMG, they're going to be very happy with how that top lane's turned out so far. No deaths. Benefit of going the boots to start up with is tapping bot lane. This one's kind of low.
Mid one's very low, in fact. Gonna be Force that finds our first blood, and still got a little bit of time with the Scourge Surf to work with against Ninja Boogie. So it also brings the Bane down to a pretty low health pool as top lane. Natsumi, a deep dive under the tier 1 tower, but Raging Potato should turn this around. Immense amount of sticky napalm stacks onto Natsumi along with Mavis, but he's splitting his attention away from the two heroes. Are doing an exceptional job to kite the Batrider. One more right click and he just gets it before he dies, but Natsumi wins out in the trade with the double kill.
I'm really surprised. The bot lane, it could come to expect it a little bit. You know, you're at TB, you're against a lot of magic damage coming
actually. Ninja Boogie, oh no. This is a bit unexpected, because I feel like Doom is... Yes, the armor changes, helps a lot in the lane, but I still think he's not the greatest laning stage hero, but Force, like you said, he is an exceptional Doom player and he's making it look easy.
Yeah, he's putting a lot of emphasis onto getting the Scorched Earth, right? Not going this greedy build with the Devour. He can even just look to use the heal onto himself, and he will. You know, that's the change to the Hill Troll Priest as well. Now the heal doesn't do 10 every second. Now it does 100 with a 10-second cooldown.
Top lane Natsumi once again pushing Raging Potato back. So it looks like both our side lanes, a lot of aggression, but mid lane, just a bit of a snooze fest. Just farming between Lelouch and Moon. And do you feel like this favors one of the position 2s a little bit more?
I think early on it's going to be Moon just looking to continuously take control. I mean, look, he's even trying to start to go for a dive here because he's assisted by his, yeah, was that a Fairy Fire that had to be used by Lelouch? I believe it was. So, yeah, Moon doing exactly what he needs to, but it's the benefit of giving a lot of these players their comfort super early on into the piece. Try and get greedy enough to get both. No, not going to get both.
Where does he run though? Because Arthurs might be able to block off this stairway. Oh, just clips him with the Echo Stomp, but I think the last right click or the Siphon cancelled the sleep, so an instant TP back to the tier 2 tower.
I think he was just trying to maximize the effectiveness there. He was thinking that the right click was going to land before the Echo Stomp did, but ended up breaking his own team sleep.
Looking to see how they...
Going well for Moon.
I'm eyeing up bottom next, because mid one does have Metamorphoses. You'd love to get a kill kind of ever used to the meta, especially with how much damage it's able to now provide the Terrorblade. So seeing if maybe they think about bringing the ET bottom.
Moon's Exorcisming mid. Doesn't have level 6 on Lelouch. He's a full level behind as well, so he can't contest this at all.
There will be no reinforcements from Polaris. Coming a little bit too late, so it looks like first exorcism from Moon. 100% conversion rate on the towers. Beautifully done. That's a great way to start.
Pre-siege creep as well. Cardi did 0 damage to that tower. It just shows how busted this DP is right now. But yeah, Moon just continuing to snowball onto that lead. And well, at least Polaris have the benefit of being playing on the dire side, so a little bit easier to stack up a lot of those camps. Which you can see, Davis has put a bit of emphasis in onto. It actually... No, never mind. So he made the rotation to start to do it, but it feels like he can't abandon Natsumi in the lane right now.
And this is what Polaris were really known for through their first 3 series. It was stacks on stacks on stacks. And with overall this series, we've kind of seen them fall a little bit away from that. Like we did get the Medusa in game 1, and then we got the Gyrocopter last game, but still it's been a little bit less emphasis on the stacks so far. And do you feel like this is... Like, is it really going to hurt Polaris in the long run? Because, again, they did pick dire side, keep in mind.
They did, and, you know, I feel like it's always a little bit of a pain, but you've got a Storm Spirit. He's able to pick up stacks and recover some of that early game deficit. The big thing that I'm going to be focusing on, though, is this Boots of Travel timing coming through from Moon. He's about 1,100 gold away from it, and for me, I think he's just going to look to follow around this DP as much as possible. Oh, sorry, the Doom as much as possible.
On lane, looks like Xavier's just going to go down. Mid one will even pop the metamorphoses. Unfortunately, they will not get any vision to be able to cancel Force's TP, so they are still hunting. But see, just, I guess, controlling now the couple of waves for mid one.
And importantly enough, Force didn't TP all the way back to base, so I was thinking maybe if they farm this wave super quickly, you can get a little bit of tower damage into that bottom tier 1 tower with the remnants of the meta, but not going to be the case. Lucius here. Maybe take advantage of a return kill coming through. What's their vision looking like? Not so great. TP's farming in the general area.
Trying to predict mid one's positioning, but the Lucius is going to be off the mark, so mid one out of the lane and into the jungle, and you don't have the greatest supports that can fill the dead lane. You know, Bane and Elder Titan, ET can kind of disrupt it, but don't really farm it too easily. Nothing like a Coddle or anything like that.
And Moon is going to be so fast, man. Like, even a Razor with an IO pairing to try and chase him. He's going to have the Boots of Travel. He's got the Exorcism bonus movement speed, and he's even got the Pig Pole if he wants to use it once he gets off a lot of those Spirit Siphons.
Where do we look to see this next Exorcism used, though? Is it just default top lane, or do they look to maybe invade the jungle and try and take a fight?
I feel like it's fine to go for the top side. Maybe just wanting to wait until he reaches that Boots of Travel timing. For me, it feels like he's a lot more effective at just looking to push out waves a little bit more and force people to try and rotate towards the mid lane to try and address that, and then go for an outnumber play on the top side.
They are linking up with Ragey Potato up top. In the bottom lane, it's going to be Arfu. That's in a bit of trouble. Force thinking about the Doom, and he will use it afterwards. So first ultimate of the game out from Force, and it's going to be able to convert them a kill onto the Elder Titan. But this means that they don't have the ultimate now to defend top, as Moon, he's used his second Exorcism. It's Lelouch dipping on full. Tower's already been brought down. Moon, can he play off the back of the Spirit Siphon charges? He's been able to do an exceptional job to survive afterwards. Now with the haze, playing through the eastern side. He's now got some reinforcements as well, so Lelouch gonna try and target down the Bane. A much easy kill, but he won't even get that! Lasso at the last second, and not enough mana to zip away.
This is what happens. You know, you give the player their comfort, and they're going to make you pay. He's got that Boots of Travel as well, so instantly makes a rotation to the other side of the map. I really feel like he needs to punish this greedy Doom. He's looking to continue chasing him. He just has that one Spirit Siphon. He knows he doesn't have to contend into the Doom, so see what Force opts to do if he does try and TP away, but he's waited quite some time to be able to make that decision.
It's too late. Oh, heal.
Got the heal.
I should have Crypt Swarm up in a couple of seconds, and also Ninja Boogie waiting in case they needed the Brain Sap to kill him off.
This is what I was expecting to happen, you know, with this Moon lane. They put so much emphasis in the second phase of those bans to make sure Lelouch had a great lane. And surprisingly enough, the Death Prophet was the hero to slip on through, even though it's so capable across a multitude of roles.
And it's also a lot of space to Ragey Potato as well, which we heard in his interview. Danog, he is a serial Spirit Vessel builder, and he's going to go on a Barret Rider, which...
Sure.
I don't question Mr. Potato, but this is not a core build.
No, certainly not. But I feel like, again, it just fits SMG's MO, right? Dominate the laning stage, look to transition with strong team fight and effective things early on. And I can't think of much more effective things than an 11-minute Spirit Vessel when you have no Dispel and you have no BKB or any other kind of abilities that provide spell immunity. No one even likes to build Manta style on Polaris, so I feel like this is a great Spirit Vessel game.
So what's the name of the game here for Polaris? Because Doom is going Midas, he's playing this greedy-esque game, and do they really just look to avoid every single fight for as long as possible until they are able to kind of hit maybe 2 items, or can they combat this early stage? So that thought, Lelouch, a long dive. They haven't run into Arfu just yet. Sharpshooter's going to give them some vision. Now the TPs are starting to rain on down. Still Arfu's not dead just yet, but look at Moon charging to the middle. They'll get rid of Force before he can utilize the ultimate to relocate out the last second with a silence. Moon on point once again from the Death Prophet, preventing that attempt from getting the IO out. At least the Storm has a TP potential, but off to the side,
Razor's caught.
a Fiend's Grip Ninja Boogie has run straight into Natsumi as he was trying to connect to the team fight down bottom, as SMG continuing with this momentum early.
It's just way too much damage coming out. A lot of survivability as well. I mean, Elder Titan, he's a strength hero, and he's going into those drums, right? Just looking to take advantage of this early timing. That is how SMG love to play, and that's how they'll do it every single time if you give them the option to do it. So it really does feel like they were waiting for a BKB timing to come out on the Razor for Polaris, and maybe that's when they could look to make the play. You know, at that time, Storm Spirit would probably be reaching close to his level 12, at least level 10 at that stage. And with the Orchid timing plus an IO pairing, give you a little bit of irresistible damage coming through, but SMG, they haven't missed a beat so far.
Does look like Polaris once again are going to butt their heads on the bottom tier 1 tower. So should be Raging Potato brought down. And Rest of Radiant are not going to consider joining Kim down bottom to potentially die. So that's big for Polaris. Not only do you get a kill in a position 3, but now you open up the map a little bit. Maybe a little bit more camps, an extra wave for farm, but also just it now sets up more for the relocate. You can invade easier to the bottom jungle, and that's what you need. Polaris need room to make plays and room to get these pickoffs.
And Polaris, again, this is the big thing that I've really liked coming out from them both last season in Division 2 as well as this season in Division 1. They adapt. They look to change things up a little bit. Has Force maybe just eat my own words? Okay, he has. He switched up his Midas to a Blink Dagger, so I was thinking maybe he wanted to address a lot of the early aggression that was looking to come out with those, the BKBs, the Boots of Travels, the drums looking to come through. They wanted a more fighting item with a Blink Dagger, but then he just goes and says, you know what? I do want that Midas. Why not?
Again, this is... I know he changed his name. It's a Nico Doom. He has an exceptional read of this hero. So do you kind of mirror his what he's thinking this game can look out to be? Like, do you think that Doom can maybe just win them the game with double ultimate at the late stage?
Double ultimate at the late stage. I mean, even early on, right? As long as you can get the Doom onto mid one, I feel like you are very capable of taking a lot of these team fights. It's going to be a little bit of a concern, of course, because you're up against Moon, who's had an exceptional start. He's got his level 12 Exorcism hitting in onto this Roshan as well, so that's going to give him a little bit of a safety buffer coming through. But certainly, even the percentage-based damage against a hero like a DP who does like to build a little tankier is going to be very nice with the Infernal Blade.
That's one way to counter out a Doom. Now you've got Second Life. There's always consideration about these big ultimates where you look into like Wraith Kings because of the reincarnation trade for ultis. Well, the Aegis fulfills a very similar role, and now that SMG, I mean, they can really just use this. Of course, they'll probably think about taking a tier 2 tower, but just the farm they'll get off the back of this is going to be really difficult now for Force to play into, because you could end up considering a Blinkins for mid one for Moon. You know, not now, but maybe like second item after this, and that would be a big nuisance for Doom to deal with.
Yeah, and the item timings just keep on coming. Moon's doing a great job of shoving out the lanes, forcing a lot of defensive rotations, and then immediately using the Boots of Travel to connect elsewhere onto the map. And Exorcism back up another 20 seconds. You're going to have a Siege creep wave coming alongside that. They actually don't have Glyph for the next 40 seconds, so they can even just immediately pop.
Look at this Ninja Boogie. Great Observer Ward. Run to the Storm Spitter along with the Eye. They need a way to cancel the relocate. Range Potato a couple of seconds away. Oh, just shy of being able to break the relocate. Very close, but you brought a lot of heroes down bottom, so you get the kill on the IO, but it is stalling out this Aegis now.
Yeah, this might be the... Even just a 30-second window means so much to Polaris, right? It's enabled Natsumi to get away. They missed the catapult. They've got the BKB now on the Razor. It is still hard, again, as long as you pop the Exorcism to be able to fight into this. But, I mean, that's just something that with Force, with a lot of that timing, he was able to get off another Midas. He's been greedy, taking a lot of the farm for himself. And, yeah, they're even just pinging stuff out, saying, look, I need this farm. I need this Blink Dagger. If I can doom the Death Prophet before she gets the Exo off, we win the fight.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, you've got BKB now on Razor with the second point in the ultimate. You also have Orchid now coming out for Lelouch, so I am intrigued to see... Do you feel like they can fight into this Aegis, or do they still need a kite for the next 3 minutes?
I don't think they need to kite. I think they just want to make sure that they get their items up, right? Like Force, even having the level 2 Doom would be kind of nice, but the use of the Midas there to stop another siege creep wave, I feel like they've done their job and they can look to make something happen now, although they've brought out Lelouch. Just break it with the IO.
Instantly smoking as well to connect to top.
Of course.
Ages. Meta on cooldown still for mid one. See Rage Potato. A jump from Lelouch. Orchid out. They'd love to burst the Batrider. A bit of help from the sharpshooter from oh my, mid one. As Sunder used defensively to try and allow Rage Potato to get the ultimate, but it will not matter. It's off to the right side. Mid one is able to bring down the Iron. Now they're aiming over to Xavius as well. Still, mid one's going to be cautious though. He's in no man's land. Age is going to be claimed. A buyback from the Eye. They want to stick around Polaris. They've got a big window to try and kill him off the second time. An instant cancel. Force is on point. Eyeing up the Bane. Getting rid of the Fiend's Grip. And now the chain control. Giving mid one no opportunity to stand his ground and turn it with the damage. As Polaris strike back around their own vision.
And just one tiny thing, snowballing into so much more, right? If you get that Fiend's Grip kill onto the Razor on the bottom side when I was able to get him away, that doesn't happen. And, well, look at what it results in. Great use of the Plasma Field as well to provide that extra vision. Really playing a selfless game right there was Lelouch too. Zipping in without BKB into harm's way, realizing that he's got the team to be able to back him up. And it was a great Doom coming out from Force to be able to get the DP without the Exorcism pop. Just looking to do it again, though.
But it's stalling, and that is the main thing. You are continuing to stall the game and potentially finding another pickoff along with this. Ninja Boogie's going to die. I mean, we saw game 1 Ninja Boogie, 21 deaths. This game, nowhere near it. But unfortunate about the position he was in, though.
He's been pumping the EXO a few times here. He really wants to use it on this top side, but he knows that he can't without the rest of the team joining in. And, well, it just allows Polaris to look to set up. Yeah, Raging Potato sitting right underneath it. Xavius, I'm sure, is looking to just try and put him on the sidelines. Don't have Doom.
Inching closer and closer to Polaris' half. And they will end up finding him with ease. And that's going to reveal the position of the ward. But again, I have to keep harping, man. You're stalling this game out. And now they're going to smoke. You've got a window here with Batrider down. They're going to probably sweep from mid, maybe to... Where do they go with this afterwards?
Well, they're able to use the scan and find that mid one's inside the triangle. That could be the play. Got Storm Spirit and Eye on the top side, so a relocate play is on the cards. Let's see what Ninja Boogie's positioning is like, considering no one's shown on the map for quite some time.
Oh, it's solid. Very nice from Ninja Boogie. That is where you say, lads, that is a tactical death, and we are 100% fine with that. We keep mid one alive. He's still continuing with his farming patterns, working toward the Skadi. Natsumi's a bit split.
Yeah.
Raging Potato might be able to fly over the tree line and get the lasso before you can react, and he does just that. Everything committed, a lot of hate. Wait, whoa, they relocated in. Mavis straight to his death, and Moon is charging on for more.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they got a little bit too confident when the last team fight went so heavily in their favor. You got to remember, that was without the Exorcism, and you just see what a big difference it is once you're able to get off such a key ability to lessen the impact. Like, even if Razor was alive and had the BKB popped, I would still want to run away on Polaris. So, a little bit of an odd decision to look to engage there. I do feel like you can't take these fights unless Force is there with the Doom in onto the DP or Exorcism's on cooldown.
They now are on cooldown for a little while. The SMG. Long zipping. Lelouch doesn't get any damage with it though, so another trip back to the base goes the Storm. Have you seen Arfu's itemization?
Yeah, very good. I think the drums or the boots are bearing?
Boots are bearing, yeah, boots are bearing.
I feel like it's good, right? Because you've got multiple things that are looking to stun you up in a lot of these engagements, right?
That's the Ninja Boogie, but still going to go down. We've had a little bit of time where these new items have been around. So are you a fan of the boots are bearing? You rate this item?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, just have a look at what they're up against, right? You've got I think 4, maybe even 5 different ways to use a slow onto people, which can be the difference. You know, when you've got something like the Bat Rider who doesn't have the BKB just yet, riding that... Not going to do too much if you end up dying first. But the little bit of time that you're able to get, I believe it's 1.5 seconds where you're immune to slows, can be so impactful. So I feel like it's quite good. I oftentimes, whenever I build it, like to get maximum effectiveness out of my drums. Just spam it, spam it, spam it, because you do get the full charge reset onto it. But they clearly feel like they need that slow protection.
Line to the DD. Look at all Lelouch is always able to get there a little bit faster than everyone else. We have got a incredibly even ball game. 2,000 net worth lead for SMG. Continuing to hit some item timings as Force gets the BKB. We are... How close are we Refresher? Yeah, Natsumi's almost got the second Perseverance.
And I want to see Force build into it next as well. Not only, like, he's got the Fake Grenade coming out to him now, so the movement speed, of course, buffed up with the Scorched Earth, just makes you move incredibly fast. But later on, you know that this team is going to want to build into Lincoln Sphere, and that's one of the great ways to be able to pop it.
One of the only neutral items, correct? That can pop it now?
Yep.
Kind of lucky, honestly, with your neutral item this game for Force. As it's going to be Radiant smoking to top. They will not run into anyone.
Man, they were pushing this tower 6 minutes ago. 6 minutes ago, they were pushing this tier 2 in a really strong position to do so, but it was just an exceptional fight taken by Polaris.
This is scary now. That Polaris have hit their timing in stride. Like, you can be in a position to fight. Like, if you get that Doom out on mid one before the meta, it's all on Moon to take this skirmish then. On wrap around.
Oh, they're going to find mid one first.
There's the target. That's the ideal one. The Manta dodge, not enough. The Doom's going to be able to fly on out. He popped the meta, but it will do nothing. It's Polaris. Surround the Terrorblade, but now it's on Moon to turn the team fight into SMG's favor. They're going to relocate to the backline, straight into the grasping hands of the Fiend group and the lasso. Natsumi playing off the back of the double BKB, and it's still starting to soak them dry as it looks like Moon. He will not be able to turn this team fight back into SMG's favor, or will he? Force? There's no more follow-up. They've got the Nightmare as well. A long duration silence. Moon's trying to target down the Storm Spirit. He doesn't get the zip away. As Moon, oh my, you give him his staple Death Prophet, and we see what he can do.
Oh, man. Both fights really effectively done, right? The long wraparound, you can't even blame mid one for that, right? He had the rest of his team on the front lines where you most obviously are going to look to take a lot of those engagements. It was just really good team play.
No Dooms down. You pop Refresher. A lot used for Razor. Yes, it was meta used, but you still the old-fashioned way with the right clicks.
It'll take some time, though. I mean, gonna have BKB in 20 seconds, Eye of the Storm in 10, Storm's coming up in 10. The better hero is at being able to contest this Roche pit, but I suppose he doesn't even have any outer towers to TP to. It's gonna need to be a long-ass zip if he goes for it. He just wants to address this top side instead.
They give the shard to Moon? Yes, they do. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
How do they address Moon in a game like this?
You gotta doom him. Sorry, but like it really does feel like even though Force is going for this Shiva's build, which again it's okay against a DP, it's gonna provide that healing reduction coming through there. But I feel like the Refresh Orb is just such higher value. You know, if you're able to get it onto the DP, you can start the team fight, and then even if the Terrorblade pops the Metamorphosis, I feel like you've got a decent amount of AoE damage to deal with the illusions, and then it's just the second use of the Doom to be able to stop the Sunder. That's the big one that you need to consider.
Potato is hunting. Just get the connection. Flame Break pushing Mavis further inside the base. Do you feel like, at least my read on this game is, I feel like Polaris late game with double Doom is a big concern, and I'm actually probably giving them a slight edge because of this. Are you agreeing? Okay, so this seems to me that this Aegis, you have to convert on it for SMG. You need, we saw first Aegis, they weren't able to. Like you said, it took them 6 minutes to take that tier 2 tower top. So now I think this is the make or break it Aegis for SMG. You have to get You've got to at least triple your net worth lead off this Aegis, I think. Get all out of towers and get enough items where you can prevent the Doom from having impact.
And maybe just wanting to have the double damage available on mid one, perhaps, to be able to at least withstand the damage coming through from the Storm Spirit. Make the choice of who to Doom a little bit more challenging for Polaris. Other thing that I don't like about the Shiva's build on the Doom is that it looks like that's what originally Natsumi was looking to do as well, and seems like the communications have come through because he's gone into a Lincoln's now to avoid that use of the lasso onto himself.
Lucius playing with fire there. Have this observer ward outside the base, which I don't think they'll look to use it. Rage Potato! He bounces straight over the higher gun. They've grabbed back Natsumi in mid one. Woo! That's so much damage with the DD, and a relocate is a bit too late.
How good is the timing with this Echo Stomp?
The R2. Oh, no one's nearby to tether. Okay, they don't fall off anymore.
No need. You got still half duration on that DD, half duration on the meta. And I believe BKB potentially coming out to him now.
Force, this is all you. A jump in, instantly use of the ultimate. They're going to bring down mid one, but he's got an Aegis. You just use your Doom on the Aegis. Carrier some Moon. He's licking his lips. 3 kills past the throne. As now they've got plenty of damage to go through. The barracks, melee clean, and soon to be mid as well under pressure.
A real carry's putting in work. Moon just going to rip through a lot of these towers with the use of that exorcism. They're only going to be able to get mid and top, but only 2 racks at 28 minutes. You're very happy to claim that out of your second Roshan.
I said triple. Maybe get this racks a bit close to that, but why?
It's double. We'll take double.
Double means I wasn't right though. So
yeah, but I feel like you'd be used to that by now.
We're going to move past that. There you go. Lincoln's... He's actually just complete. I thought it was very close to Lincoln's. He bought the ultimate orc, so that is the next item, though, for mid one. What's Moon going for next as well? Because he just complete the Skadi. So the Shivas.
I'd imagine it has to be the Lincoln's for himself. Just make life more difficult for Polaris. When it comes to late game decision making, you could say some players are better than others, but the more variables that you just keep in the equation, it just makes it so that you're thinking of things other than like who the right target is, for example.
Yeah, I love that point, because at the end of the game, it's like the past year, maybe a little bit more, late game Dota has just been so goddamn chaotic. It's lane, Ninja Boogie. Start on Force. Nice positioning though with Xavius, but at least get rid of the Nightmare. But Rage Potatoes hunting once again. They've spotted out Lelouch in Natsumi's position. Whoa!
Hello?
A double echo! And now they find Lelouch. Maybe it's trying to charge up the relocate, but to no avail. As Lelouch gets down with ease. And now they've also caught Natsumi on the outskirts. His Ninja Boogie. And I tell you what, there's a reason why they first pick his Bane. He's been on point so far. They get the return kill on the IO as well. And the writing might be on the wall.
Yeah, exorcism up in 10 seconds, so they could just look to end this. They don't need to go down the bottom side. They're going to test these buybacks, and with that Boots of Bearing as well, it's just way too much damage to have to deal with. There's the meta getting popped. There's the exorcism. This should be done and dusted, although...
Oh, force early BKB. What a man to dodge from mid one. Survives the war stomp, and now Lelouch, that's a dieback. They've controlled Force in the backline, and SMG. I mean, this is a huge series. Polaris, they started off Division 1 incredibly dominant. Now they lose their 2 prior series, and SMG proving to themselves, proving to everyone that they well and truly deserve to be in the talks for the top 3.
SMG Moon, that's all I gotta say. He is just so capable when you give him the comfort to just drag his team to victory. He did everything you could possibly imagine this game. They gave him a great pick for the mid lane. He was able to take a tower pre-5 minutes. Let's not get that twisted. Pre-5 minutes he was able to get it, and it was only the one fight where you finally got the Doom onto him to be able to start things out on Polaris that it started going your way. Ever since then, though, it felt like SMG, their positioning was on point, their rotations were on point, and the better draft one in my eyes.
You might have to change your background again, Danog. The CEO had a exceptional game 2 and game 3, moving back on his Death Prophet. And this puts us in an awesome position, honestly, for Spring Tour, because we have a really even kind of top of the table. I mean, now Polaris are going to be 2-2, SMG bump up to 2-1, Fnatic at 2-0. Honestly, we are more than likely going to go through the standings later on, but this is just so exciting because you don't want those teams all the way at the top. You want even, you want tiebreakers. It just increases the intensity, and that's what we had for our first series, and that's what we want for our second series.
Yes, we want that during the season, but we don't want another repeat of last year at TI where only one SEA team qualified through DPC points. We gotta spread the love. We gotta get as many high quality teams to LAN, and the best thing about SEA Dota is that there are so many high quality teams that previously weren't on anyone's radar. So SMG, very impressed with that win, and keen to see what they can do moving on.
Now they are on everyone's radars. We're gonna send this over to break. SMG taking the series 2-1.
SMG were able to take game number 3 in this series, and they looked really good. Polaris held on for... You both looked at me in unison. Hello?
That's what we practice in rehearsals, the head turn.
You guys are so good. Polaris did look very good, though somewhat coming out of laning phase, but I felt like SMG kind of hit the power spikes, the item spikes really well, and there wasn't any room for Polaris to breathe.
Yeah, they very quickly lost a lot of towers. Moon's Death Prophet, like 5 minutes in, takes the mid-tier 1 with his first Exorcism before Storm even hits level 6. Then both teams rotate to the offlane, and one team has Death Prophet and can push, the other has Doom and can't. So, you know, they have Doom.
Yeah, they do. They do have Doom.
I guess you guys weren't a fan of the Doom by the end of it then. Ares' spiel didn't win it over for you?
Actually, I had moments where I enjoyed it. I think there was a very nice moment for Polaris where they started to win some fights after a little while. Because, yeah, it is like kind of difficult to play into a lineup where they can't just Doom and remove your carry. I think there was a fight where SMG wasted both Grip and Lasso on Natsume's Razor, and he still lived through it and was able to kill people and get away. And, like, that's the type of fight where, like, you're like, hell yeah, like, it's perfect. That's the ideal situation. You use your spells, you're feeling good. The problem is, especially when you have a Doom on your team, it goes on cooldown. And it's just a lot harder to fight when it's on cooldown, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy when it's not available. It's really hard to use it.
Yeah, just like...
I definitely get that.
Impossible even.
Yeah, 100%. Polaris did do some good things, though, this game. But SMG, I guess they always just took advantage of this. Is there anything else that still stands out for you guys, even a player?
Ninja Boogie, his Bane.
His Bane is so
was really polished, just kept finding these great nightmare targets. I would say him and Moon were the 2 standouts this game particularly. Moon only died once the entire game. He was just setting the tempo, landing some amazing silences on the Storm Spirit. Like, he'd zip in and get insta-silence, it felt like. Like, he was just so quick to respond. So those 2 players for sure.
I actually also want to give big ups to the Raging Shadow Batrider. When I saw the Batrider was going to offlane, I was actually really skeptical. I don't think it's the role for Batrider anymore. I think most teams have moved away from it and don't like it at all. I think he's kind of weak inside lanes and very punishable. That being said, his impact in the game was good. I think the way we were talking about Polaris' draft, like, oh yeah, they can remove these heroes from the game between like Razor and Doom. Well, at the same time, Raging Potato's Batrider's BKB piercing stun, he was able to grab Natsume a bunch of times, or even the Lucius Storm, and just pull him into an Elder Titan ult, and there's nothing they can do about it. They just exploded and died. When you're able to take away their Razor, for example, like, they no longer have a way to fight. They don't have barely any damage anymore.
Yeah. The Batrider kind of felt like a better Doom at times. Like, you'd Doom this TB and he'd still be metamorphosis and right-clicking people. You blaster someone and they just die.
Yeah, it also was very much Raging Potato style as well. You know, we saw how well he did on the Sand King in game number 2 with those initiations. And I guess he was able to do exactly the same on that Batrider, but a more well-equipped sort of hero. The other thing I want to point out is looking at the number of deaths Bane has in game 2 and 3. He only had 10 deaths combined, which is still
less
than half.
Oh,
it's still less than half of his game 1 death. So he died 21 times in game 1, and he died 10 times in game 2 and 3 combined.
I hope Mike's listening. Mike, stop feeding, please.
Stop feeding.
Well, I was going to say, I bring up the stat about Ninja Boogie's Bane, and we do have Ninja Boogie for the winners interview. I'll get there eventually, one day, hopefully.
Soon.
Maybe not. Just kidding. Not yet, so we can flame him a little bit longer before
Let's
he can hear
go.
us.
What
I
a
hope,
terrible
I hope he
player.
can hear us and we just keep flaming him. And then
Yeah.
we bring him on. And he's
What else do you want to
he's not
say
going to
about him?
talk to us.
This is the worst Bane I've ever seen. Did you know some of his wards, they got dewarded in this series?
That's. I don't think
Yeah.
that's a Bane specific
It's
thing. I think that's just
disgusting.
reporting.
disgusting.
Yeah. What else?
Behavior.
He looked a bit sleepy during the draft, you know, like he wasn't
Yeah.
focused, honed in. You're like, you gotta be hyped up your team, you know.
Sure.
He's the captain drafter. You know.
There was
I don't
also
know.
he died sometimes. Like
We already brought up the deaths.
it's just again. I feel like it really needs toning in. Like stop that.
That's fair. If you're on the side of Polaris, though, before we do jump into the interview, if you're on the side of Polaris, what are you taking away from this, right? You were able to get a game off SMG in this series. You were able to get the game off of Boom in another series. It's still looking good for you, right?
Okay for you.
Okay, yeah. I
Okay.
think I think good for them. They're a team that wants to qualify for the majors, so top 3, you know. They've lost twice now, so it's already going to be pretty tricky for them, I think, to get in that top 3. They're going to have to really kind of, you know, win on out almost. They've already played Boom, which is, I guess, the thing they have going for them. So we'll see.
What are you hoping they learnt from this?
That they really need to polish their drafts for that Medusa.
I was going to say they need a non-Medusa
Yeah.
draft.
They do. I mean, it's not like they've looked the worst. It's just you got to figure out something that's solid and good. It's nice though that at least that you can force teams to ban your Medusa in first phase because that
Yep.
should give you a lot more strats to work with.
Mhm.
So yeah, they have options. They just need to kind of figure out what they want to do and just see what their mistakes are when they're losing. Like yeah, they're throwing a little bit sometimes. I don't know. Like, I think I agree with what you said, Parker. This was a really weird off day for them. Like, I mean, I guess at the same time, like you said, it's their team that is a bit of a roller coaster sometimes, and we're really seeing that today. Because I think in the previous series, they've looked just super good.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty, well, we don't have to talk about Polaris anymore as we do have our interview ready with Ninja Boogie. Hopefully. Hello, thank you so much for joining us, Ninja Boogie. How are you feeling?
Okay. It was good that we came back, you know.
Yeah.
my performance game one was horrendous.
We might have mentioned it here or there on the panel. I do want to ask, what do you think went so wrong for you guys in game 1?
I think we just made a lot of mistakes, and I feel like we didn't prioritize Roshan. Them getting the second Aegis really kind of like pushed the momentum in their side. If we could have taken that away, would have been, we could have equalized the game or even pressured them a little bit more.
Do you think it was more down to objectives rather than your drafting for that game?
Well, a lot of personal mistakes from me. Definitely not easy playing against a monkey and an ember and a Medusa. But yeah, we just like it really went down to the Roshan of what I think.
Awesome.
You guys expecting them to pick the Medusa? Because obviously they've taken it like a lot in the DPC. Was your draft kind of geared like, oh yeah, we're gonna deal with this Medusa when it comes out, or like how did you feel about that hero for them?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know what the team's thinking or like the draft, because I'm here in Cebu, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm just like listening to them and whatnot. So like that goes behind the scenes. Like I'm not like part of that conversation. But I think everything they picked was predicted, and I think we were fairly confident playing against Medusa, but you know it's just their comfort hero. So like game 2-3, we just decided to remove it. Why stress about it?
You mentioned you're not involved in the draft. You know, historically you've been a player that's been pretty vocal, I think, in game and captain teams in the past. Are you involved with like the in-game shot calling, captaining the team, in game at the moment?
Well, since I've been away from the scene for so long, and I'm trying to like just get my performance back up. But who knows? But for now, no. Just
okay.
They prefer if I just shut up and
Shut up and try not to die 21 times. I'm sorry, Mike. I just gotta give you some.
No,
shit,
it's fine, dude. I looked at the score. I was just like, what the fuck? It didn't even feel like I died 21 times. You know?
Yeah, you know, you're dying dead for 10 seconds. You come back.
Then you got like a Medusa shard, Ember, BKB, refresher. Like we were.
Good time.
You could have died 22 times like Ponlo though.
True. Yeah.
Silver lining.
You
It
mentioned
wouldn't have mattered if we won. You know?
Yeah, exactly. If you got
No
the
one,
win,
no one
nothing
would have
matters.
looked then.
You mentioned you taking a break coming back. As it sounds like obviously individually it's maybe been tough. Like what's that process been like coming back to competitive Dota for you?
Well, I've been like spamming sorry for the language MMR games since I think when they announced TI-10 was back on.
Mhm.
But you know, MMRs, it's a hit or miss, to be fair.
That's what I
And
tell myself.
so yeah, it's definitely different from, you know, professional play and like being in a team. Um, what I found myself doing when I was spamming MMR is just I mute everyone because everyone's just so toxic, or you know, the high percentage of people
Mhm.
playing are very toxic. So that kind of like screwed up my skills in terms of communicating and
Well,
but yeah, I've just been pretty much solo MMR grinding, trying to get my skills back.
it's awesome to hear, Ninja Boogie. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insight. I look forward to hearing some more from you, but congratulations again on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All the way. Oh, you almost
Yeah.
missed it.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, he went
We got it.
back.
We got it. We got it done. Well, that's going to be it for our series between SMG and Polaris. But if you guys want more Dota action, make sure you hang around as we do have our last series of the day between
It's time,
Boom
baby.
and Neon coming up after this break.